Hey guys, Robert Creamer here with Learn Commercial. Hope you're doing fantastic. Today we're going to talk about how to get started in commercial real estate because, when I got started, there's a desk and a phone. Good luck, right? They didn't know what to tell me what to do. So I had to kind of fail forward, which works great sometimes and sometimes not so much. Like for instance, right now, during the COVID area, that's got to be a pretty tough start unless you have a massive database to help you get launched there. Hopefully that Jumpstart program gives you some action items to get going, get a game plan, get a schedule in place to maximize your chance of success. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit real quick about, let's just jump in. So I'm going to share my screen 1 second. All right, so here we are. Welcome to the first module after the what is commercial real estate. So how do I get started, right? So let's hop right in. All right, so how do I get started in commercial real estate? All right, so there's two traditional ways. Most people get their license, they take some commercial classes, which by the way, if you haven't looked, there's very few compared to the residential classes available. And the reason is we only make up about 5% of the entire realtor pool, right? Let that sink in. 95% of all realtors focus on residential real estate, not commercial real estate. So that puts us in a unique situation where there's not a lot of education, there's not a lot of brokers conducting commercial real estate, but what we do have is a massive lead source who shouldn't be doing commercial real estate, then should be referring you business. So we're going to talk about that in a couple classes, and it's going to be on repeat most likely. But yeah, take commercial classes, read books, fail forward. That was my education. Like I said, it took me quite a bit. I had to reach out, just make phone calls left and right to all my database, fraternity brothers, alumni from college, you name it. It didn't matter. It's whatever it takes. Some people just learn as they go. They don't need to have a quick jump start into the business, but some people do. I didn't have the financial runway, so I had to jump start pretty quick. I had to get on the phone in a hustle or in a hurry and get after it. So everyone's a little bit different. But what we generally tell people, when I used to coach people, we'd say, look, I want you to get into commercial real estate. You seem really passionate about it. I love that. Let's rock and roll, but make sure you're not setting yourself up for failure. Make sure you have 6 to 12 months of reserves, a financial runway in place. We don't want to put anyone in financial risk. And the reality is, could you close the deal your first 30 days? Sure. Is it likely? No. The fastest I've ever got a deal done was 14 days, and that was a freak occurrence. Most of our deals probably take 45 days from inception, and we've taken 18 months to get a deal done. So the reality is, if you started today and then went through education and then went through the Jumpstart program, started making plans, making progress, making calls, getting leads, we're probably looking at 4, 5, 6 months before you actually start making some money to pay the bills. So we need to make sure you have that financial runway. Before then, that's why we call it survive then thrive, right? If you need to do residential, if you have to have a second job, whatever it takes, survive, and then we get you to thrive, right? Let's go. All right, so let's go on to the next slide. All right, so there's two traditional ways that most people do jump in. One being they join a large firm as a junior associate broker. For the most part, though, we call every commercial person a commercial broker, regardless of if they are actually a broker. I'm a broker, but even when I started, I just said I'm a commercial broker because we are brokering deals. Now, as far as your state goes, you are not a broker, most likely, unless you are. But yeah, that's just what we call. It's just the way it's always been. But usually, those people who join the larger firm, you join as a junior, and you're usually on some sort of draw, right? So there'll be a low salary, 24 to 36,000. You might get a small split of the commissions with your senior broker who's supposed to be showing you the ropes and going through the motions with you. With them, you're going to learn the basics through a course provided by that brokerage. They're going to place you on that team, and your job's hit the phones, right? I mean, I said 100 calls a day, but a lot of these guys are making 200, 250 a day. Now they do have auto dialers to help, and that can help, but you're on the phones, you're hustling. I mean, it's a beating. And your job is to assist the senior broker if he needs help on putting together pro formas, do market analysis, research, but you're working 70, 80 hours a week for not a lot of money. And what it does two things. It weeds out the people who can't make it in this industry because it's not easy. And the second thing it does, it provides cheap labor for the seniors who are also trying to figure out if one of these potential juniors could be the next rock star to join their team. The problem with that is most of the people coming out of college with a real estate degree or jumping on board as a junior, they get burnt out, which again, for the company is not bad. They have cheap labor and they just keep rotating through. And then the ones who can make it have a great understanding of the industry. They know what it's going to take to make those phone calls, put together those pro formas, and that's going to help them for the life of their career, unless they get burnt out, right? So that first year is just, it's tough. I've had plenty of people leave and join some of these firms, and it was, they said they couldn't, it was too many phone calls, no money, and it was fine for the first like 3 or 4 months, but then after that, it was just too much, right? So just be mindful. If you can make it through there, it's like buds training, right? You're gonna get hit hard, and it's gonna be a beating. If you can make it through, you're gonna survive this industry. That's not for everybody, right? So that's one of the ways. Yeah, like I said, conduct the busy work for the senior. Learn as your broker works, learn as your broker works the deals. And it's up to the senior how involved and how much actual training they provide. So, right, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again throughout this course, but it's not so much the company you're with, but it's who you associate with at that company. Who is your mentor? Who is your trainer, right? It's not the company, because anyone can find material and give it to you, but it's really who's going to be an advocate for your success and help lead you to success. There's a big difference, right? And every firm has good, bad, in between agents who, even the great ones, just may not have the time available to allocate to train you the way you needed to be trained. So just make sure you do find that person. That is so important. I do mention it a few times. Like I said, high burnout rate. Not many survive this. It's a challenge, but the ones who do usually do pretty well in our industry. So the other way is if you're transitioning from residential to commercial, right? Which is a lot of people. A lot of people get into the industry, they jump into residential, they either master residential, realize it's not for them, want to add to their arsenal, their tool chest, and they think, why not commercial real estate, right? We're all talking to the same people, why not jump in? That's really what this overall course is kind of about, right? We're helping people either jump into or transition into commercial real estate. And in the future, we're going to have a much more in-depth, for more of a senior approach on how to go from 20, 30 million in volume to 100 million in volume, right? But for right now, this is how can I get started? Where do I need to go, right? So a lot of people do transition, and I have helped quite a few people into that role of either do I want to get rid of all my residential real estate, have a combination, hire someone to do my residential, or drop it and move only into commercial real estate. So the residential to commercial, you already have a basic knowledge of real estate, which makes the learning curve much shorter, right? You're already in it. You already kind of know how to search, look for properties, what to ask your clients anyways. Now we got to tweak it a little bit for the commercial side, but you already are in, you're accustomed to start asking questions, right? What do you need? What do you like? What's important about this, et cetera, et cetera. Now, understanding the terminology, the contract differences, timeline importance. I mean, timeline importance can be very big and can cost you a lot of money if you don't pay attention. Asset classes, that's all the next step, right? We did the intro module, which went through all the different asset classes. Now, hopefully within your own firm, there's a commercial group or a commercial division, a person who is willing to assist. You know, we see it all the time where the right person to train may not want to, is too busy, can't afford to, or simply won't respond in a timely fashion to your needs. You know, that happens, right? We're all contract labor, we're all 1099. That's why I said it's so important, not so much the company, but the person. You got to find the right person who has the time and the willingness to help. Yeah, so remember, the right training can be very time consuming. I mean, some of these courses are very long. If you look at the CCIM, Great Education, it's going to take you a couple months and a large portfolio to get qualified. It's a great program, but there's not a lot of alternatives, right? That's one of the reasons we created this. And then again, the group you are seeking, whether it be in your company or not, you got to make sure they see some value. Otherwise, they're not going to be willing to offer as much help, and they may or may not be willing to help. It's just, it can be a little bit challenging. Now you decided to jump into commercial real estate either on your own or transition from residential to commercial. I mean, what do we do, right? So we make some phone calls, we ask for some recommendations on who to go, where to go, who to talk to. You join a firm that can handle this and has the training capability of assisting under your terms as well as theirs, right? Don't just join a firm because they recruited you well, right? Join because you think this is a long-term win, or this is the education journey you need before you jump in, right? It can be either one, but make sure it meets your needs as well. Don't just settle. There are plenty of companies out there, plenty of options. Don't settle for something that will end up getting you out of the business because you're burnt out in 6 months, right? It doesn't have to be that way, right? Don't just agree because of a lack of options. Keep searching. The good ones are out there. All right, now we're going to hop over to this 30, 60, 90 jumpstart, which I'm hoping you already saw previously because we do have a recording. And yeah, so we're going to go and take a quick look at that. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Learn Commercial. This is Robert Kramer, your host today. We're going to be talking about the Jumpstart 30 to 90 day program. It's going to be an outline on what you should be focusing on your first 30, 60, and 90 days to have the best chance of success in our industry, because a lot of times we just get started and we don't know where to start, where to go, what to do, who to talk to, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. Are we wasting our time? Right? We want to fast track our success as best as we can, given the circumstances. Like right now we're in COVID, right? So it's a different set of circumstances than we were 5 months ago, but we got to roll with the punches, right? So let's go. Let's jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And at the end of the video, we'll talk a little bit more about what to expect in Learn Commercial as we progress. So let's go ahead and get started. To respect your time, let me share my screen real quick. Here we go. All right. Welcome to Learn Commercial. Now that you're ready, let's dig into the path to success over the next 30, 60, and 90 days. All right, so the first 30 days, right, a lot of us are just getting into a new company. We're just getting into a company. We're not 100% sure of what we need to get done within that company. So that's really a lot of the focus this first week, right? So week one, now that you're ready, it's time to make sure you have access to all resources that your company provides or that you may or may not need. So make sure you have login credentials to the following. Like for this course, Learn Commercial, you'll need your Kajabi access, where you'll find classwork, homework, quizzes, top resources, preferred vendors, etc. Then you're going to need to look at CoStar and LoopNet if your office provides that, if you need to get it on your own, or do you even need it? Crexi is another one. So is Reonomy. We can talk about that later. Then your real estate company resources make sure those are all set up, right? So here where I am, we use SkySlope, our email servers through Gmail. We use eXp Enterprise for all our back office stuff. We use DigiSign as opposed to DocuSign. We use KV Core for a CRM. I don't use that, but that's what the company provides. So go find out what tools they have and how you can get access to it, and make sure you can get access and everything's working efficiently. That's the last thing you want to worry about, right? All right, the next is a marketing piece, which is a build out or CREOP, unless your company has another option, but that's what we use. We've used build out and CREOP. It's a great way to put together your flyers and your informational packages that you see out in the marketplace that look real nice, great pictures, lots of information. And the next, for us local, we have a thing called CIB. Now, CIB is it's state specific, but it's a needs and wants listserv. So every state's going to have something. Like, for example, CoStar has the same thing where you log into CoStar and you can blast out to a specific target. Well, in your state, there's probably going to be a group where you can target to send out, and you can also select, I want to know about investment product, and get those inbound emails coming to you. Then, of course, you got to join a state or a local board, get access to zip forms. Now, zip forms is where all the state documents that are attorney written, they're the promulgated forms. That's where those are housed. I'd say probably 35% of my deals use the promulgated forms. If they're a simple single tenant, a land deal, or a listing, that's where I go. Now, the rest of the deals, I use attorneys. They write our contracts, our PSAs, our LOIs, or our lease agreements, etc. And then we have our own, within Learn Commercial, we also, one of the resources we do have is, we have copies of NDAs and copies of LOIs and PSAs and things that you can use or at least take part of and make your own once you get more educated or more of an understanding of what needs to go into the letters of intent and the PSAs, et cetera. But again, that goes into more of the classwork. Your first week, you just want to make sure you have any and all resources that you need in order to succeed quickly. That's the last thing you want issues with, right? I don't know how to log in. I don't know where to go, what to go, how to go. So make sure those items are taken care of properly. All right, so read this document in its entirety to see what questions you have, and then follow back up, see what we can do to help you get started, right? You want to schedule a meeting with the local commercial agent, your sponsor, mentor, manager, commercial exec, and or whomever can answer and assist you when needed, right? The person will always be more important than the company. And that's the truth. I've been with 3 companies now, and it's always the people I surround myself with and who I choose to align with that ends up projecting my career further and further and faster and faster. It's usually not the company. The company has some great resources, and that's any company across the board. They all have resources, but it's always been the people as opposed to the company that have really launched me into where I needed to go. So just keep that in mind. All right, so add the group coaching calls. Once you join in Learn Commercial, we have 2 coaching calls a month. So add the group coaching calls, the mastermind, and any other commercial events to your calendar, right? Go ahead and Google some of these events we're going to talk about here momentarily and get them on your calendar so you don't have to dig them up later. So the group coaching, we have 2 calls a month, right? The first call is going to cover education. And on the education, in the program, we have 11 modules going everything from tenant representation to intro to commercial real estate to the lending environment, right? We cover everything. We have special guest speakers, but that's for the education on what to do, how to do, when to do. Then on the second, we're going to cover a live deal where we will show you where we got the client, how we found the property, the details of the property, the pros, the cons, and what should or will happen next. This will also be the call for masterminding along with any communication or hot topics on the Facebook page. So we're going to have a Facebook page that's closed. It's for masterminding, deal sharing, deal flow, etc. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited about it. If you're not part of Learn Commercial, let's go back real quick. On the live deals, I think it's so important because most people get in, they take the educational step, right? They understand the basics, they think they understand it, but when they get into the deal, they get bogged down. They don't know what to do next, how to respond, when to respond. So when we go through the live deals, we literally have a whiteboard, right? And we say, okay, this is how we found the property. This is where we found the buyer, the client. This is the evaluation. These are the financials. We break it down, pros, cons, go or no go decision. This is why, this is the process. And that is so important. You never learn as good as you do than when you're in the deal, right? That's when you really get the knowledge, which is awesome. Now, if you're not part of Learn Commercial, find a local group who meets consistently, right? Participate consistently. It's time on task over time. You got to get in there. Commercial convention and live training to be announced. We will have those. But again, there are commercial groups, commercial conventions. Make sure you just have a radar of when and where those are and see who the speakers are and see if it's worth your time to go. Not everything is, but it's always a needed thing, and we'll talk about that in a moment, to stay on top of your education. Remember, this is all week 1, right? Watch all training videos and become familiar with all resources. Again, this is diving into Learn Commercial or wherever you go, get into education, right? Number 6, get to know the who, what, and where to have all your business transaction questions answered. So regardless of what company you're with, just make sure you know that who is your go-to. Is it a mentor? Is it a coach? Is it your broker? Is it someone else at a different company? It doesn't matter. But find out who your go-to person is when you need help. I have a transaction question. I have an inspection question. When is this due diligence in? What if I missed the date, right? What happens? It's like having insurance, right? We don't need it until we do. Make sure you know who your person is or your group. All right, let's join over to week 2. Let's move over to week 2. All right, so Now we start moving a little bit into letting people know, right? So you're going to send an intro email or letter to your database, letting them know you have joined the X, Y, and Z Realty and are now in commercial real estate. And then follow up with your database after you send the above. Follow up is so important. Work with your mentor, sponsor, or manager to set up your 411, your goals, your action items, and your stretch goals. 411 is just a way of saying your big goal slam down into your weekly goal. That's all it is. It's just a goal sheet broken down into steps that you can take on an hourly, a day, a week, a month, a quarter basis in order to hit your big annual goal. All right, continue to watch training videos and the archive videos in Kajabi and any your company has for you, right? So if you're part of Learn Commercial, we got all those. If your company has videos, fantastic, get on it. Always continue your education. Become familiar with the marketplace you work in by conducting searches in CoStar and or LoopNet. Again, if you don't have those, find somebody who does and wouldn't mind running some searches for you just temporarily, or use Crexi or any means you can, but this is key. You have to understand your market before you can talk intelligently to these buyers and sellers, right? They'll sniff out if you have no idea what you're talking about, right? Try and map out the areas, the type and class of assets. There should be a pattern. Find it, write it down, make notes, right? Such as a high profile downtown retail is crazy expensive, right? Industrial near the airport is a much lower price point. Take your time here. You are building your knowledge base and it's gonna show. We talk about that in one of our classes. It is very important. Should you get a lead, grab onto another commercial agent and work the deal together. There's no better way to learn commercial than by doing. This is going to be the fastest way, and it's going to increase your chances of getting the deal done dramatically if you partner with another agent. And I can have people chime in here all day long on that is the case. All right, time blocking is going to become more and more important as you get busier and busier, right? So one of these forms we have in a class, you focus on this every day and your chances of success dramatically improve. So when I say time blocking, this chart here, it kind of lays out the items of critical need. So we have a whole class just covering some stuff about this on what you need to be doing today and every day. But we're going to talk about this real quick. So here you go. Every day in this order, these are the steps. Work on your professional competency, lead generate, lead follow-up, negotiate, presentations, and then all the other BS. Now, your number one thing is lead generate. Always. Second, follow-up. But right there with lead generate is your competency level. So the bottom three on this chart, professional competency, lead generate, lead follow-up, should be non-negotiables every single day. Like every day when I wake up, I'm checking CoStar or LoopNet or JLL or CBRE or Cushion Wake. They're all sending out newsletters. They're all sending out information on what the market's doing. And right now during the COVID era, we have a lot of input, a lot of data coming out. There's always something to learn and explain to your clients why it's good, bad, or whatever, right? Stay on top of your game, stay educated. And then lead generate follow-up. Those should be non-negotiables every single day. And we have a whole class on that, but that's really important. Let's keep going. Week 3, you should be finalizing any and all training videos, whether it be Learn Commercial or another, or your online research on the industry best practices. Your knowledge base should be adequate enough to feel confident to speak in general terms about commercial real estate. Now, if not, go speak to your mentor, your manager, your trainer to find the right resources and discuss what's going on. Are you nervous because the prices could be higher? Are you still unclear on how the process works? What is it? Ask questions and understand. Seek to understand so you can adapt in order to survive, right? This business is survive then thrive. It's not just jump in and thrive, right? It's going to take some work. Continue to follow up with your database and begin feeding it, right? You want to start with your database, let them know you're in commercial real estate, and then go meet new people, add them. New people, add them as often as you can. Again, here we go. The number one priority for a realtor is lead generation without question. The number two priority is follow-up. With that in mind, we need to meet as many people as possible to talk about commercial real estate. Use your resources, your company resources. How many agents does your company have? How many residential agents in your area? They are a great resource for commercial leads. And yes, I know most of the agents will be outside your market area, but always say yes. And then let's find a way to make it work, right? We're a very connected group if you get in the right group. We can refer a lot of things around the entire country, if not world, just asking one or two people. We're all connected, right? And on those those larger deals, remember, just case by case basis, but think bigger, right? Is the juice worth the squeeze on helping someone out in a different state? Join networking groups such as the Chamber, Rotary, business groups, B&I groups, anywhere you can meet people and see them often. Give this time. It can take up to 6 months before you see the fruits of your labor. And I experienced that firsthand when I first got started. It's time on task over time. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Stay with it. Time on task over time, right? You got to keep going, keep showing up, keep telling people to do commercial real estate. It's like when you see people jump from company to company, you know, lender to lender, wherever it is, they're not following through. It's just time on task over time. These things take time. It's not a get rich quick. Right? You're going to see a ton of commercial networking events and conventions. Are they going to give you leads? Probably not. Know what your goal is before you go. Are you there to learn a new tech tool? Or are you there looking for new business? If you're going to be spending time, spend it wisely. Go to a target-rich environment. I say that because in my experience, when I went to the commercial conventions, we talked shop a little bit, then we drank a few drinks. We just had a good time. Unless I was super niche down, like if I only did retail in downtown on Congress, right? Most of the time I wasn't going to be able to reciprocate a whole lot of leads. Now, could we deal share? Sure. But do we need to go to a convention to do that? No. I prefer to go in the target rich environment of residential agents because they should not be doing commercial real estate without the education. So I go to them and say, let me handle it for you while I pay your referral, right? That was my choice, but it worked very well. So find out what works for you and just go make it happen. All right, now week 4. So write goals for the next 12 months. How many people have you contacted, had a meeting with, got a signed rep agreement with? How many deals have you closed, purchased, and leased? Review often. Have it written down and in plain sight. The subconscious mind is a powerful thing. Time you started using it, right? So all of my goals are written on my bathroom wall. So every morning, every night, every time I walk in my bathroom, boom, I see them. They are front and center. I know where I am, what I need to do, and how big my goals are, right? It's kind of scary. I got a big goal. Lead generate and follow up again. That will never go away. Start attending educational events, webinars, regional calls, anything that will sharpen your tools. Iron sharpens iron. Be cautious who you take advice from, right? There's a lot of people right now proclaiming to be gurus in pick an industry, and just make sure they have a track record. If they have a track record and they can show it and they can talk the walk and walk the walk, then fantastic, rock and roll. Just be wary who you're taking advice from. A lot of people like to say they've done a lot and they've done nothing. Just be cautious. All right, start entertaining the idea of picking a specialty, leasing or purchase and sales. Go further, retail, office, multifamily, industrial, right? In the long run, picking a specialty will benefit you greatly. It's not necessary to win, but makes you the go-to. Now that also is a little bit market specific, which we talk about in the course, but for now, that's good enough. All right, month 2, that's month 1. Month 2, continue with the first month's work until completed. Review goals, learn the wins and the struggles, evaluate and adjust, right? Talk to your mentor, talk to your go-to, talk to a mastermind group, talk to me, talk to the Facebook community. This is what happened my first month. This is my struggles. These are my wins. This is what I didn't like. This is what I did like. This is how can I do this better? Talk to people. It's like reading books, right? Plenty of books have been written on all the mistakes that you probably would make if you went on it by yourself. They've already done it. Read, educate, adapt. Let's move forward faster. The one thing, lead generate again. People always ask, who do I call? Call your database, call residential agents, meet with your new groups, Rotary, BNI, Chamber. Get out there. Lead gen is your one thing, but following up is a close second. Make sure you return phone calls. Once in the industry, you will see how many agents and brokers fail to respond in a timely fashion. This has been the case in my 15 years in this business. It's crazy. It is actually pretty amazing. To get the job done, you may have to call the same agent back several times and send multiple emails. Keep it professional, keep educating yourself, keep improving. All right, now let's close out this first 90 days. So continue tasks from month 1 and 2 until complete. Connect with other commercial agents around the country and within Learn Commercial, if you join Learn Commercial or whatever coursework or mastermind group you decide to attach yourself to. Start collaborating together, sharing ideas, deals, market data. Let's all win together, right? That's why I want to build this huge community on a Facebook group. We're all going to grow and win together. It's going to be fantastic. Set up systems for your business to help streamline operations. This will allow you to be more efficient, right? This business, specifically buyers, will eat your time unless you have systems in place. So we do talk about that in classwork, but it's very important. And you'll notice it, the busier you get, systems are very important. Look into coaching, self-improvement events such as Best Year Ever Blueprint, 10X with Grant Cardone, Traffic and Conversion Summit, Funnel Hacking, CapCon, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, and there's a ton of speakers out there. Find whomever makes you think differently, right? You just feel it. I don't know about you guys, but when I walk into a room and I hear people talk, sometimes I just have a feeling, right? Sometimes you feel their presence in a room. Sometimes I get nothing out of it and I get bored. I'm on my phone, right? I've never been to a Tony Robbins event, but I'm assuming if I went, I would feel his presence. I would be present. With Grant Cardone, he's in your face. He gets in your face. He's loud. I love it, right? Just go find whoever resonates with you. It doesn't matter who it is. Just go find that person and go to those seminars because they're impactful. Read. Commit to reading 6 books a year, 12 a year. The list of amazing books is enormous. At Learn Commercial, we want to help create millionaires. Guess who reads a lot? Millionaires. So let's go. If you need a reading list, I can provide one. We have tons of books. Ask to teach a class at a local residential real estate company's meeting. Now, I've done this a few times and it works phenomenal. If you know of a small boutique company, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 agents, and they don't have a commercial agent there, and you feel confident enough to go and speak on a topic, say, this is what's happening in commercial real estate in our area. This is the rates and the new tenant rep opportunities in the area. These are the vacant retail spaces available. These are what investment opportunities could be available in the next 30 days in our market. Does it even have any buyers, right? If you go there and talk about education and come from service, from contribution, and just obviously bring food because realtors come when there's free food, tacos, donuts, whatever it is, right? And if you do that, you're going to get leads. It's fantastic. So definitely try and get that in your schedule. When you feel confident, if you don't feel confident, grab your mentor, bring him with you, right? Remember, this business is simple. It's not easy. The tasks we need to do in order to succeed are simple, but time on task over time can be daunting. It can be tiresome. It can be boring. It doesn't have to be boring though. You just have to get the systems in place. If you do this right, it's fun. I'm in this business for life. I love commercial real estate. All right, so you have the resources, hopefully. You have the network, you have the mentors. Now the rest is up to you. It's never going to be the company. It's you and your peer group. Get a plan in place and take action. This can be the most rewarding and wonderful business in the world if you have the drive and passion to make it happen. Let's make it happen. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to stop sharing. Well, thanks, guys, for stopping in. Hopefully that was a little bit informative. I can send that to you if you want to send me an email at info@learncommercial.com. I can send you that slide deck or that Word doc rather, and use it as a guide. Just you have to take the steps in order to succeed. And those first 30, 60, 90 days are critical. When I first got started, there was no mentor. They literally, like in the movie, said, there's a desk and a phone. I mean, good luck. If we can help, we will, but we don't know your industry. We are a residential company. Let's not have that happen to you. Get educated, lead generate, follow up, join a peer group. I hope you join Learn Commercial. Come on this amazing journey with us. All right, so now that we looked over the 30, 60, 90 jumpstart again, maybe it's the second time you've seen it. If not, if it's the first, hopefully you saw some value and you put some action items in place to get rocking and rolling, right? But so moving on from that, which is a great game plan. So definitely watch that again, take notes, and get an action item in place. All right, now what's the fastest way to make money in commercial real estate? People ask me this all the time. So the fastest way is to refer it. When you first get started, like I said, it can take up to 6 months. And one of the problems is you're going to get some leads early and they're going to sense you either don't know how to find the property they need or you're new and they're going to be talking to 3, 4, or 5 other brokers. Now that may or may not happen anyways, but we want to set you up for the maximum chance for success and the highest probability of getting paid. And the highest probability of getting paid in the beginning is to refer that out to a commercial broker in shadow, or just refer it out just to get some money in while you're lead generating. Or if you're really in a residential spot, you're just too busy, you don't have the time, don't stop lead generating for residential. That's your bread and butter. Don't stop. We see it plenty of times where people, they want to jump into commercial real estate, and what they do is they get one deal and it says, oh, we need a multifamily complex. It's $5.5 million. They see commission dollars, they get excited, they put all their time and effort into that property. Turns out that property has some tax, some insurance, some misleading numbers. You've been working on it for 90 days, maybe 120 days. The buyer decides this is not for them, they back out. You stop lead generating, that property terminates, you have no commission, no leads, you're in trouble. We see it too many times. That's why automation systems and that jumpstart is so important, because you want to have a hockey stick trajectory, not the ebbs and flows of I closed $1 million deal, I got paid, nothing. I got $1 million deal, got paid, nothing. I had $1 million, it fell through, I have nothing again, right? Don't do that. So if you need to, refer it out, because if you refer it out to someone who has the experience, the expertise, your chance of closing and getting paid goes up exponentially, right? The second is to partner with a commercial realtor to help get the deal closed. That's one of the highest success rates if you are participating. So if you can't refer it, you need to stay involved. It's a relationship, or you really feel like it's time, partner with a commercial agent, try and figure out a 50-50, if that's a split that makes sense, because you're providing some value as well, and then work the deal together. Ask questions, take notes. Why did you do this? Why did you say that? When do you do this? Blah, 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 right? Ask the questions you need to ask. We go over these details in the tenant rep, landlord rep, investment sales class, right? But ask questions from the partner you're dealing with so you can learn, right? That's the second fastest way. The third fastest is tenant representation. So if you're ready to jump involved or jump in, you don't want to refer it, you're not going to partner, you say, you know what? I think I'm ready. I got this. Now, one thing you should do is ask your mentor, your broker, am I ready? And they're going to say yes if you are, right? So if you're not going to refer it out and you're not going to partner and you think you're ready to go, then let's go. But with tenant rep, the nice part is it's more of a need as a want. When you're looking at tenant rep, most of the time it's, I'm launching a new business, I need a space. My business is doing so well, I need more warehouse space. I need a second location. I'm opening up the second location in a different city. It's a need, where on the investment side of commercial real estate, it's a want. I don't have to buy that $1 million property. I'm going to wait for the right opportunity. So that makes it more challenging and more likely the deal could fall apart if something doesn't look right. So tenant rep is more of a need, and that's why I recommend that being the first area you investigate if that's a passion of yours to jump into. So tenant rep, it's great. Let's keep going. All right, so know who your referral partners are, right? I mentioned it a moment ago, but Commercial real estate only makes up 5% of the realtor pool. There's 95% of all licensed realtors conducting residential real estate. And you know what they're doing? They're talking to clients every day about real estate. How often do you think commercial real estate comes up in conversation? Not as often as residential, but it comes up. And they shouldn't be doing it because they're going to lose out on their residential business. They're not going to conduct it properly. They're going to waste their time. The right thing to do is for them to refer it to a commercial broker who can much higher, who has a much higher percentage or probability of getting the deal closed. Doesn't always happen. We hope it did. We wish it does, but it doesn't always work out that way. But they need to be your advocate. And if you don't know those people, who are the leading residential agents in your marketplace? Take them to lunch, take them to dinner, buy them a gift card. Come from contribution. Hey, I don't know if you know, but there's 2 new buildings being built on I-35. You know, they're redoing this hospital over here. We're about to add 1 million square feet of retail and mixed use development right around the corner from your office. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not. They just broke ground, they got permits, right? Come from contribution, show them that you know what you're doing, and then continuously ask, is there anybody that I can assist with any commercial real estate needs? And you got to keep following up. Send them cards, send them Starbucks cards, get in front of them, right? This is a relationship business. You got to go out there and make it happen. Just because you got your license, no one's calling. You have to be proactive, right? And on top of who are the leading people you could get referrals from, the other thing you'd like to know, until you're ready, who would be your go-to in your local market that if you got a deal and you needed to refer or partner, make sure you find that person. And in the long run, you want to find that person in most states, because when you get a lead and you do quality work, people refer from anywhere. You want to be the go-to resource for anything real estate related. So you want referral partners across the country, right? All right, so that's kind of how to get started. Now here's some action items that I just want to put together. Just quick action items that you can do that are real simple. We're gonna have an entire homework section to help you become more educated, but getting into commercial real estate, we don't need to worry about that too much, right? But okay, action item number 1, utilize any means necessary. LoopNet, MLS, CoStar, 42 Floors. There are about 10 different companies that have some data. Reonomy, Crexi, right? Find out what's in your market, because not all of these companies have a great presence. If you're in a small market, they may not all be there. If you're in a Dallas, Chicago, or LA, they're probably all there, right? Now do some research on lease rates. Now I pick lease rates because, again, tenant rep is one of the easiest things and the fastest ways to jump in, right? Now pick office or retail and answer these questions, right? What are the lease rates in your downtown area? What are the lease rates for newer versus older? Are they triple net leases? Gross leases? Are there a lot of vacancies in your area? Have you seen it? Do you know? Do you pay attention? One thing you'll start noticing when you really dive in and get passionate about commercial real estate, anywhere you travel, anywhere you go, you're always observing what's vacant, what's super busy, what they're developing. You just become acutely aware of anything real estate related that's popping up. It's unique. It's like when you buy, if you bought a Tahoe, you start seeing Tahoes everywhere on the street, right? It's just the way it is. Any new companies moving into the area? Like, I'm in Texas. Right now we have a ton of companies moving in from California. It's crazy. Tesla just announced they're opening up their Gigafactory in Austin. That's pretty exciting. Right? Any new companies moving into the area or just a specific area? So if you live in a small town, but you like the next town over, who cares? Go pick there. Do you know why they're moving there? Is there tax incentives, better way of doing business, better climate, more opportunity for employees, right? One of the reasons Austin's growing so fast is because you have a pool of talent in the Austin market, especially in the tech side, right? Where's the most development happening in your market? Pay attention. Ask the developers, what made you choose this location? Why is this the right area? Are y'all seeing this as the next wave of growth in this direction? Because when you know that, you can start telling that to people. You become the expert by asking questions, right? All right, action item number 2. Use this as a basic ask from a client, because we get this vague ask all the time. And unfortunately, it can be very annoying, but you have to be able to handle it, right? So if I ask you this question, what would you do? What questions would you ask? And what might you need to know in order to close this person as a client? Now, the reason I ask is, we need to be problem solvers, right? They're not going to give us all the answers. They're not going to tell us why. We have to start asking questions so we can narrow down what they really need and why. Why is this important to them? What do they really need? How far from that do you think we can deviate? Because there's nothing perfect, right? When you're looking for a house, there's never a perfect house. You have to give and take, or find the perfect location, layout, price, and then you make it into your perfect situation. Same thing in commercial real estate. So here it is. Hey, Mr. Smith, thanks for taking my call. I'm going to be bringing my business into your area or city. I'm going to be needing 3,500 to 5,000 square feet or so in a newer property. We don't want to deal with any headaches, in a growing area. We're only looking to lease. Let me know if you can help. That's pretty vague, right? They didn't say a whole lot. So we don't ask this question because we expect you to know all the answers, but these are questions we get asked, and we need to evaluate what we need to know in order to do our job properly. What to ask, what expectations to set. We go outside the box sometimes and stretch what the client thinks they need versus what they actually need because of a lack of options, right? So you just need to ask questions. Why is this important? All right, guys. So again, those action items are a few. We'll have a lot more checklists and homework once we get into the next module, starting with tenant representation. Hope you enjoyed this though, just kind of how to get started in commercial real estate. What I loved about it, it was challenging, right? And it's not for everybody. It is a challenge. This business is simple. It's not easy. It's a contact sport. You got to get out there and make it happen. Same on both sides of the fence, residential or commercial. It's up to you. You have to get into action, right? This business is at best an 80-20, meaning 20% of the people are making 80% of the money and vice versa. The ones who get out there and hustle, make it happen, educate, lead gen, follow up, you're going to do just fine. Well, hey guys, thanks so much again for joining us today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the modules. Hope you enjoy the live training calls. And I hope you go to the mastermind group and ask questions away. Let's start talking, get some great conversations going. We'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks so much.